Hello, hope everyone is staying safe. With spring coming, I have noticed and have been enjoying the flowers that have been coming up around my house. So I'd like to go and do a project with you today that looks at one of those flowers using some materials that you have at home, and then we can try to recreate a watercolor effect using markers with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, as well as Q-tips or sponge or paintbrush. Alright, let's get started. Today I'll be focusing on an English iris, which is photo referenced here in the book. Here's my example. I'm going to first start by drawing out the stem. It doesn't have to be straight, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a good starting point. And if you'd like to, you can add the semblance of a leaf coming up. And once I have my base, I'm going to focus on the 4 petals, each falling out, either up or down. This particular flower is purple with a yellow set of lines on the inside. So I'm going to work clockwise from the bottom. I'm just using a pencil to draw out some basic shapes for me to start with. I can change it with the marker, nothing is permanent. I can always erase. A little bit of the stem as well, the stemma. So I'm going to start with one of my purples, and I'm just going to start marking in the lines. Now, because I'm going to be going over this with rubbing alcohol, I don't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to lay in some color. If you wanted to mix in a little bit of red with your purple or a little bit of blue to change the color, this would be a good time. I have another purple I'm going to use just to change and add some variation. It's going to give it a little bit of a little darker appearance. And for this top one, I'm going to add a little bit of the lighter blue. And just on the underside with that purple there. A little bit right there. Now I'm going to be very careful with adding my yellow. It's just going to spread out from the center. I'll go back to my purple. And I'm going to bring in some small lines. To the yellow, leaving a bit of white space. This other purple. You can see I haven't filled it in. I haven't gotten too crazy. Just mixing, making little marks, little dashes, just getting color down. While I'm here, I'm also going to put in the marks for my stem. Again, blue is one part of making green, so by adding a little bit of blue you can add a little bit of a darkness to the green. Now all I have here is a little cap full of rubbing alcohol. You can use paper Q-tips, or I have this sponge as well for dabbing. But all we're going to do is use the rubbing alcohol and the paintbrush to lighten it and just change the markers on the paper. What this does is it softens up the lines and spreads the color out. And where I've mixed multiple colors together, they actually start to bleed and blend a little bit, and it gives it a very soft watercolor effect. Just keep your brush wet. Don't overwork it, because you can rub the paper and put holes in it. Just using a gentle pressure and letting the liquid do the work. Now it's going to change the paper, make it appear a little bit wet, a little bit gray, and a little bit dark, but as it dries it will soften and give you that effect. And when this is completely dry, I'm going to wait, or I'm going to just do ahead and do it right now so you can see it. But when it is completely dry, take my orange and just give it a couple of quick swipes right down the center as the stem. And that is how we can use rubbing alcohol and markers to create a watercolor effect to do flowers. You're more than welcome to try this with anything that you'd like to draw. I just happen to enjoy the flowers that have been coming up because of spring. I know that we're not able to go and do the things that we used to, but we have to be able to enjoy the little bit of things that we have in front of us. Thank you, and I hope you give this project a try, and I look forward to seeing your results. Bye now.